Imagine, imagine losing millions of euros because you thought your workplace was safe. Like that's a pretty scary thought, right? Well, that's almost exactly what happened to a construction company over in Utrecht. Turns out their scaffolding system, which they thought was, totally fine, totally industry standard, it was actually like a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah.
So today we're going to take a deep dive into proactive safety. We're going to uncover those kind of hidden risks that can turn a normal day at work into, well, let's just say not a normal day at work.
Yeah, and what's really interesting about that example you just gave is this company, they thought they were being proactive. They were, ticking the boxes. They were doing those risk assessments, but they missed one crucial element. They kind of assumed that because there hadn't been any recent accidents, that everything was, totally fine,
Right.
smooth sailing. It wasn't until they took a more structured approach and really started, actually quantifying that risk of the scaffolding failing, that's when they saw just how bad it could have been.
It's kind of like thinking that you're invincible just because you haven't gotten sick in a while, right? Like you might have a strong immune system, but that doesn't mean you should just stop washing your hands.
Exactly. Proactive safety isn't about, living in a bubble. It's about understanding the risks and then taking those smart steps to minimize them. And going back to that construction company, they could have had, multiple injuries. They could have had to stop work completely. They could have even faced some serious legal action, all because of one assumption.
Yeah. So proactive safety, it's about more than just reacting to like those near misses or accidents, right? It's about going deeper. It's about digging deeper.
Absolutely. The companies that have really strong proactive safety programs, they see up to 60% fewer incidents.
Wow.
Yeah, that's huge. Think about what that means. Fewer injuries, less downtime, a more productive business, and ultimately a more profitable business. It's not just about avoiding the bad things, it's about creating a better overall environment.
Okay, so fewer incidents, more profit, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
But where do we even start? How do we even find these hidden hazards?
Well, I think first, we need to broaden our definition of what a hazard actually is. We often get focused on the obvious physical dangers, like you mentioned, the unstable scaffolding.
Right.
But it's those less obvious hazards that can really trip us up.
Okay, so give me an example. What kind of hidden hazard are we talking about?
All right, let's take a chemical processing plant over in Rotterdam,
Okay.
right? So they were using these theoretical models for their risk assessments. They felt, pretty confident in their setup. Then, bam, this near-miss incident happens that almost caused a major chemical leak. And it turns out their models didn't consider the specific combination of factors that existed in the real world.
So their safety plan looked good on paper, but it didn't quite translate to real life.
Right.
That's a pretty big oversight. What did they do to fix it?
Well, they realized that they needed to get the input from their frontline workers. The people that are working with these chemicals day in and day out. So they brought in the operators, they brought in the maintenance technicians, even the cleaning crew. These folks, they had a wealth of practical knowledge about the actual risks involved.
So they combined those theoretical models with the practical experience of the people, on the ground. That makes a lot of sense.
It does, and it worked.
Yeah.
They uncovered several hazards that they had previously overlooked, and they were able to put new controls in place. And this is a key takeaway now. Real-world insights are crucial. Talk to your team, get their input, observe how work actually gets done. You might be surprised by what you discover.
It's kind of like comparing a flight simulator to actually flying a plane, right? Like the simulator could teach you the basics, but nothing beats real-world experience.
Exactly. Theoretical assessments, they are important. They have their place. But they just can't replace actually looking at how people interact with their work environment.
Yeah. This whole proactive safety thing, it's starting to make a lot of sense. But let's be honest, sometimes it feels like, just another thing on an already very full to-do list.
Right.
What would you say to someone who thinks, hey, my workplace is fine, we haven't had any incidents lately?
Well, I would ask them, are you willing to bet your business and the well-being of your employees on that assumption?
Okay.
Because remember, proactive safety, it's not about fear-mongering. It's about smart risk management.
And potentially saving millions of euros in the process.
Exactly. And that's actually where we'll pick up in part 2 of this deep dive. We're going to explore the different types of workplace hazards and how to identify them before they become a problem.